All right, this is the HP Omen 16. This model is equipped with the Ryzen 5800H, Radeon 6600M, a 1 TB SSD, 16 gigabytes of RAM that does have good timing, a 16.1-inch 1920 by 1080p 144 hertz screen. The chassis is, from what I can tell, identical to an Omen 15, just a ½ inch wider. So build quality is good overall, just a little bit of that screen flex when you push down on it. Looking at pricing, Um, for an identical equipped Omen 15 with an RTX 3060 and only a ½ TB SSD, it's $30 more. So whatever an Omen 15 with an RTX 3060 is where you live, I would expect to pay around that for this. Looking at the ports, on the right side, there's two USB-As. At the back, there's nothing, just ventilation. Switching over to the left side of the laptop, my big question going from my last review was about the USB-C power delivery. And looking at Best Buy's website, they don't actually list that. It's only on HP's website, and I couldn't get it to work. So hopefully it's something they implement on the higher tier SKUs, because that's one of my favorite features. However, the display port out of the USB-C did work. We also have full-size SD card reader, a mini display port, HDMI, another USB-A, RJ45, headphone jack, and the power cable. It's kind of a weird choice for me to put your display ports on the left side, because normally if you're right-handed, the laptop's going to be on your left when you're hooked to an external monitor. The weight, uh, just the laptop is 5 pounds, 1.5 ounces, so a little more than the Omen 15, or 2.31 kilograms. When we add on the 230-watt charger, we go up to 3.03 kilograms, or 6 pounds and 11 ounces. The keyboard's a little loud, but honestly it's my favorite laptop keyboard I've typed with. It is missing a number pad. Instead, you just have a couple of the shortcut keys over there on the right, and large full-size directional arrow keys. The screen felt crisp while gaming, and while it's hard to show color accuracy on camera, unfortunately it's really not that great on this screen. It's only 55% sRGB according to my little app. Um, but the higher tiers will come with up to 165 hertz, 99% sRGB with 300 nits, but it'll still be the 16:9 aspect ratio. To test the battery, I played City Skylines, and it lasted for 84 minutes. For my next battery test, I switched it to Battery Saver. I set the screen to 60 hertz and 40% brightness, and it lasted for 4 hours and 36 minutes. That's an hour and a half longer than the Nitro 5's battery I just tested. The speakers are a little above average for a gaming laptop, hitting a peak volume level of close to 85 decibels. I go in detail on the Omen gaming hub in my unboxing video, but I wanted to show y'all I had problems with it frequently crashing. It wasn't the end of the world because I would get this error message and I could still click around on it and change the things I needed to before closing it and closing out the error message. But hopefully that's something HP addresses. The laptop didn't have any problem staying cool, however the fans are definitely loud. Under a sustained gaming load, 2 hours of Far Cry 5, they're averaging 58 decibels, and that's not even close to their max. Now, if we switch it to balance mode, the fans stay a more reasonable 50 decibels, and that's by reducing only a small amount of power, around 10 to 15 watts total, but it also allows your temperatures to creep up a lot higher. Now, if we play performance mode with a cooling pad, the fans drop to around 54 decibels. Temperatures are still similar. And to kind of get the best of both worlds, you can play on balance mode with a cooling pad, And that'll drop your temperatures back down to around 95 in the CPU and keep you close to that 50 decibel mark. So for our first game benchmark, Far Cry 5, averaged 97, sometimes 98 frames per second. Switching it to balance mode only resulted in a 1 or 2 frames per second loss. Now, there is no mux switch on this, and I haven't been able to get a straight answer whether or not it's possible with Smart Shift. What I've been able to find out for sure is it definitely complicates it. So you can hook this to an external monitor and get about a 10% increase in your frames per second. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, around 101 frames per second. In Cyberpunk 2077, got around 60 frames per second. On Ultra is 54 frames per second. I'm not sure why this footage came out so choppy, but then switching it to ray tracing, like you would expect, didn't go well. We dropped all the way down to 20 frames per second. Call of Duty Warzone, playing on all those settings, got us 125 frames per second on average, and switching everything to high as it could go, except for ray tracing, got it around 100 frames per second. I also benchmarked Battlefield 5 on high settings, 125 frames per second in single player. Bumping it up to Ultra averaged 113 frames per second. And here's some benchmarks. Cinebench R23 got a single core score of 1425, multi-core score of 12234. And here's our 3D Mark score. Interestingly, one thing I noticed was I got a achievement on Steam for benchmarking a video card that 3D Mark didn't recognize. Whew, back to the couch. So all things considered, I do think this is a solid gaming laptop. If you watch my unboxing video, mine did come with a small manufacturing defect up in the corner. I had some drivers issues initially. Special shout out to Nerd, who recommended delete the Radeon video card drivers and just download the video card drivers straight from HP. So that's my advice. If you buy this, don't use the Radeon updater or download the new Radeon or download the Radeon drivers, at least not right now. Just get the ones from HP. The command center crashing, I'm not sure what's up with that because I uninstalled and reinstalled it, tried a couple different things. So hopefully that's just a weird issue limited to me or something HP straightens out soon. Probably my biggest disappointment is about the USB-C port, that it wasn't working for power delivery. I reached out to HP Online Tech Support, mostly just for a good laugh, and they didn't disappoint. I asked him about it, and at first they thought I was asking about charging my cell phone. Then I explained further, and he said, okay, let me check. And then he said, okay, you can charge it through the USB-C port, but you have to get a 230 watt USB-C charger. Now, the max power that a USB-C cable can currently handle, or maybe it's the max power the USB-C port can currently receive, I don't know, but either way, the max of USB-C charging in the current generation is 100 watts. I was very impressed with the 6600M. I couldn't do a fair comparison of my own between this and the RTX 3060 because I don't have a full power RTX 3060. But to be fair, there's also not a lot of laptops with a full power RTX 3060, and it definitely outperforms the 105 watt and the 95 watt RTX 3060 I've tested. And if you compare my Shadow of the Tomb Raider and Far Cry benchmarks with other sources out there on the web, you'll see that this stacks up pretty well with just about any RTX 3060. I'll be doing a full comparison video between this and the Legion 5 Pro, which of course also has the 16-inch screen. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. If you have any questions, let me know down below.